Welcome back to the channel, my fellow connoisseurs. Today, we are going to be diving into a year-long review of one of the most talked about watches in recent times. Of course, as you know from the title of the video, today we are going to be talking about a Tissot PRX. I know there's been a lot of coverage on this watch already, but today we're going to explore a little bit of its history, the specs, my personal experience with this watch, so let's get started. As many of you know, Tissot is a Swiss watchmaking brand that was established in 1853. Tissot has been a pioneer in the industry since their inception. They introduced the first mass-produced pocket watch, the first anti-magnetic watch, and many other innovations. Fast forward about 120 years, the PRX originally launched in the 1970s. Back then, it was known as the Sea Star, and it came in a very attractive 35mm case that looks very, very similar to the PRX of today. Taking a look at the watch in hand, it is very heavily inspired, like I mentioned earlier, from its predecessor of the 1970s. This is my own PRX that I purchased nearly 13 months ago now. It is the 40mm green version, and this one does have the Powermatic 80 movement. This PRX is the 40mm stainless steel case. As you can see, it does have the integrated bracelet and a very nice sunburst finish green dial. The case is nice and thin at 10.9mm, which makes it a very sleek wearing watch. We have a very nice butterfly clasp right here that is very, very easy to use and very, very well hidden. Without a doubt, I have had to have deployed this clasp thousands of times over the last year, and I have had no issues whatsoever using it in my day-to-day. So I've gone ahead and thrown the PRX on my wrist so you can see really how it wears. Over the past year, I have worn this watch nearly every day in a variety of different settings, and I have put it through the ringer. I mean, this watch has seen and done it all. I've dressed it up, I've dressed it down, and it's never failed me once in any occasion. And I think that's one of the main reasons I love the watch. Its versatility is one of the strongest points it has. I mean, it seamlessly fits into any occasion. And that's personally why I went with that green dial as well. In certain lights, you can definitely see the green hue, and in certain lights, it's very dark, very mild, and you can barely tell. It almost comes off as black, and that's one of the main reasons I loved it, because it's subtle, understated, but yet fits its purpose. A lot of people have issues with the PRX for its movement, for example, and to be honest, like I said, I've kept this watch running, I kid you not, what feels like every day for the last year, and it has worked just fine. A lot of people tend to feel like this watch as well is a soulless, mass-produced piece of steel, and to be honest, I feel like that argument is quite silly. I mean, you can say that for quite literally any watch that's manufactured. Listen, no watch inherently has a soul, right? It's when you wear it, the memories, the experiences that you have, and you put it through, that's when it begins to build character. When the watch was initially released, I didn't think that I would be that interested in it. And then I walked into a boutique a year ago, and when I first put it on, I was immediately struck by its, retro charm and the comfort of this bracelet. I can't state it enough. And for the price point, it was just very distinctive. And to be honest, I didn't think this would become the watch that I wore the most in my collection. But it did, and I've taken it on numerous outings, and it's never failed, and it's held up remarkably well. One thing I want to point out is, as you've seen throughout this video, my bracelet is very, very, very scratched up, as you can see. But if you take a look at that sapphire crystal, absolutely nothing on it whatsoever. Overall, this watch has been an absolute pleasure and joy to have spent the last year with. The blend of vintage and modern features makes it a standout piece. The 80-hour power reserve definitely is very useful and I enjoy it. I honestly don't think I could have asked for a better watch to have been my daily wearer. And this watch is nowhere near getting ready for retirement, I'll tell you that much. So I'm well aware over the last 3 years this watch has gotten its fair amount of coverage, but if you're watching this and seeing this for the first time, or if you've been eyeing one for however long, I would highly suggest and recommend pulling the trigger on this one. If you're anything like me, it'll be one of the best watch purchases you ever make. Now, I didn't mention price in this particular video because they're a little bit all over the place depending on whether it's a 35 or a 40 millimeter, a quartz or automatic or chronograph. It's a wide spectrum on the Tissot PRX. I recommend doing your own research, finding the one that best suits your needs, your budget, your taste, and your likes, and going with that one. There's one thing I know for sure, and it's this watch has definitely won me over, and I definitely will never get rid of it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have a PRX of your own, or if you don't have one, why don't you have one? Let me know. If you wouldn't mind, please consider subscribing and liking the video. And until next time, keep on ticking.